And what is it? Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Viva technology. Okay. I'm going to put down so I'm not staring at myself, which means that if you have questions, I'll get to them later. So yeah, I am on day 36 of I don't know how long juice cleanse. It's funny, I started because I had heard about this. I did a lot of research before I did this. And I'd heard about doing like a 40-day. And so I was um, I was like, I didn't really know anything about this when I started. So I actually attempted to do one in August and it didn't go longer than 12 days, but that was my longest ever. So I was still pretty proud of myself. And then I just continued to eat really clean. I'll talk about that later. Kind of prepping for my next one. I knew I was going to do it. I was traveling, so it wasn't like a super convenient time to have been doing that 12-day one anyway. But anyway, when I got back from Europe, I decided to start this one. And after I had hit the 13-day mark, I was like, okay, I'm not in danger of quitting. The reason that I kept doing it was that junk is still coming out. It's like, I'm sorry to be graphic, but if you clicked on a juice cleanse video, then you're probably aware that the idea, maybe you're not, but the idea is to clean out the system, right? And I had done like a 5-day fast in my 20s before and just didn't really have much come out of anything. I mean, which was funny because I was raw vegan at the time, but I was eating so much hard to digest raw vegan food that, yeah, it was not the same experience. But I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks into this juice fast, thinking I'm going to 40 days or hoping that 40 days will be the time when like the junk stops coming out. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So, um, so it's who knows? I mean, I just watched a video. This guy did 200 days, and he said he was still having solid bowel movements. This is like, I don't know. It's kind of mind blowing to me. Um, but yeah, so I've been doing really, really well. Um, I don't feel lightheaded. I don't feel low energy most of the time. I had maybe, like a few days, maybe like week 2, where I was feeling kind of tired and I had to go to bed earlier. But now I'm actually needing a lot less sleep, which is very strange for me. I'm kind of like I had low thyroid in my 20s. That's why I started eating raw vegan then, and the low thyroid healed itself. But I've still always needed quite a bit more sleep than most people, at least like 10 hours, 10 to 12 sometimes. I think partly because I've had insomnia for such a long time. And so maybe I'm also just not getting very deep sleep. Um, the insomnia went away by like, oh gosh, actually, the insomnia went away the first part of this. So in August, when I did my 12-day juice cleanse, I noticed I was just sleeping, which had not been a thing for me since high school. I had such trouble naturally getting myself to sleep, and then having children made that so much more complex because they were waking me up, and then I have to go to sleep, and it was really hard. And so I had been taking melatonin, but before that, I was actually taking THC to get myself to go to sleep. And I kind of knew I didn't want to do that forever, but it's like if you have the choice between um, sleeping and not sleeping, most people will choose sleep. So that's been really rewarding to one see how much filth there is in the digestive tract. Um, and two, to be able to sleep really well. I've also been meditating so much more deeply. And when I chant, it feels so much, I don't know, just like exalted, and I connect so much more easily. And I have a sense that that's because when we eat, an unnatural diet, um, when we eat things that are hard for our body to process, we put our body into kind of like energetically, we're directing our energy towards digestion, towards a lot of difficult digestion, right? And when we sort of take out everything, I mean, I'm just drinking juice, fresh cold pressed juice. I have a juicer, and I'm making my own juices. I'm drinking a lot, like 7 to 8 32-ounce jars a day, like this. That was something that um, the people that I followed and watched really highlighted. So that the more you drink, the more you're going to get out. Um, so getting the same, if not more calories than when I'm actually eating. But when we're not having our body do this difficult processing of the foods that are difficult to process, um, we're our energy just opens, right? My energy has opened. I should speak for myself. So I'm kind of like out of this survival mode where I'm like, my body's like, okay, well, let's get to work on whatever the heck you just swallowed, into like, okay, that was easy enough. Now you have energy for other things. So that's been my experience thus far, and I have a sneaking suspicion that the more comes out, the cleaner my digestive tract gets. And I'll get to that because I've had insights about that. Because you're probably going like, well, if you're not eating anything, how do you have anything coming out? That sounds really impossible. And I would have said the same thing. I never imagined that this was possible. Um, but I don't know where I was going. I'm not a linear talker. Um, I was talking about, oh, that when I get, to the point where I'm drinking juice and nothing else is coming out, because that's my intention with this. I kind of want to do it once once and for all, and then maybe as a maintenance for shorter periods of time at some point. But um, yeah, so uh, oh, I have no idea. I have no idea where I was going with that sentence. Sorry. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to share that, not as a recommendation for, anyone um, at all. And I would highly recommend prepping, um, if you did want to do something like this, prepping sufficiently. So, what I did was uh, in April, I think it was April, I read Dr. Greger's How Not to Age, with all these scientific studies about the benefits of a whole food plant-based diet. It really impressed me because I had gone off of a vegan diet. Um, let's see, when I joined my cult, when I joined 3HO, um, the Kundalini yoga community that I had been part of. And I say joke, I say it, I don't know, I'm laughing. It's not funny. But I have to add humor to it, or, life gets way too serious. And yeah, so at that point, I think I gave up veganism because I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's almost like I felt sad being isolated from normal society, um, because of how much I knew about what happened to animals. And it was honestly mostly like an ethical thing. Um, Definitely the raw part was for my health, but I didn't really know how to eat any other way that was vegan. I didn't go like vegan and then raw vegan in my 20s. I went to this really amazing raw food restaurant and I was like, well, this tastes better than anything else I've ever had. Why would I eat anything else? Um, but then when I discovered the Kundalini yoga community and they were having all these beautiful potlucks and, um, exchanging like not exchanging, but being uh, at these events where there was maybe like a potluck or somebody had brought like a big thing of mung beans and rice or something. I just wanted to be included in that. And that wasn't necessarily a vegan thing. That was just a cooked versus raw vegan thing. Um, but then, and then also like being part of that community, you hear about how terrible raw food is for you. I don't know, maybe some of you do think that. I always get a kick out of that because I've eaten it and it's not bad for you. Um, but but a lot of people do think that. And anyway, so and they also, they ate a lacto vegetarian diet and sort of convinced me, or I wanted to be convinced that that was like enough ethically, right? And I think I just sort of had to, and I recognize this in myself at other points in my life, I just sort of had to convince myself and not think about that anymore. Um, I don't, I don't know if that's kind of like a universal thing that people do to fit in, but it's something that um, I've recognized in myself, and that that's one thing that this juice cleanse, fast, feast has given me is this sense of I know what's right for myself. And it doesn't matter if anybody else agrees with me. It doesn't matter if anybody else thinks this is great or thinks that I'm, endangering myself or whatever. I know within myself that this is a good choice, and I'm seeing the reflection of that in my outer world and in my inner world. So, yeah, there were a lot of years where I just sort of towed the line and went with other people's information and based my choices on that. And that was not right for me. And I am entering a new phase of my life where that is not the order of the day. What is going to happen in my life is going to be what I take responsibility for. And my health is the number one thing that I can think of to take responsibility for. No one else is going to make me healthy, right? No one else is going to stand up for my health. It's just not, you can't give that over to anybody. So, yeah, I'm drinking my grape juice today. I actually decided, so I had been doing like citrus, green juices, melons, watermelons, cantaloupe, apples, pretty much anything that I could juice that tasted good. As I said, I'm trying to get sufficient calories. That's really key with doing this, because if you're not getting sufficient calories, you're going to want to eat. So every time, and by the way, the desire to eat goes away. Maybe like by the end of 3 or 4 days to a week, you don't even really want to eat. It would be very strange. So yes, well, especially, just anything, but yeah, I had been doing sort of a variety of juices. And then last night, or 2 nights ago, maybe, I was like, why don't I just do grape for a few days? Because one of the obstacles that I had in the beginning to doing just fruit juices, and I know this is also very controversial because people think it's too much sugar, but I had been following a doctor who runs a clinic in Florida called Dr. Morse. And his protocol is very fruit heavy, um, lots of raw fruits and fruit juices. And his sort of pyramid of cleanses goes like, the bottom of it, whereas it's the least kind of, um, I don't know, least aggressive, would be like strictly raw foods, and then um, fruits, like just eat all the fruit that you want, and then up more aggressive than that would be fruit juices, just fruit juices, and then above that would be water. And I knew I was not ready to do a water fast, um, so I did the juices. And in his mind, grapes, and also I think on an angstrom scale, if that's how you say it, it's like where they measure the energetic value of different foods, or maybe anything, but for foods in this example, that he says that, and I've heard this from a few other people, that grapes have the highest angstrom value of any other fruit on the planet, which I think is so interesting when you think about our species, that we have this high energetic fruit, which is the grape. And what have we done as humans with it? We've fermented it and made it into a toxin, basically. Most people on the planet Earth have had wine, but they've not had fresh pressed grape juice, which I think is so interesting. Um, I've just had like a lot of insights about what it means to truly care for yourself. And if you're putting things in your body that are poisoning you, and I mean with alcohol, we really literally are ingesting poison, then what does that say about how much you care about yourself, you know? And what, like a year and a half ago, I was drinking wine because when I came out of the Kundalini yoga community, I went through this period of kind of going, well, like, who am I? You know, it was very chaotic in my mind when all of that happened. Not sure who is aware of what, but when I found out about all of the things that had been happening in like the 70s and 80s and 90s into the 2000s, because Yogi Bhajan, aka Harbhajan Singh Puri, died in the 2000s. There, but I didn't know about any of it until 2019. And when that happened, it shook me because it had been a huge part, if not maybe like the bulk part of my identity. Um, and I felt a tremendous weight in terms of having created music for them. Um, I feel like very much more light about it now. I don't carry any sort of guilt for having made a choice to be in that community, and I feel that I got so much beauty and so many beautiful friendships and self-discovery, ironically, from it. Like, it wasn't for me a negative experience, even though it was for other people. But it took me in this direction of like, well, have I just been in kind of cults my whole life? Was raw food a cult? Was my family a cult? Was um, can't go in. I'm not. Not going to go into that in this video. But I had reason to be asking all these questions, and I was in a new relationship, and he ate basically everything. And so I was like, well, what would happen if I just, you know, was normal, quote unquote, and just ate all these things? And it was okay for like, I don't know, maybe like a year or something. Um, was eating a lot of fish. Uh, I still ate like a ton of vegetables and salads and some fruit. But I was drinking wine. I don't have a huge tolerance, so like not a ton of it. And I started taking THC for the sleeping. And by the end of, I don't know, 3 years of this, um, I was just like, something's got to give. And then I started reading that Dr. Michael Greger book, How Not to Age, and realized that all of the sense that I had in my 20s about the ethics, not that that book gets into ethics, but the ethics and like the health reasons for eliminating animal products from my diet are now being scientifically um, studied and proven. You know, it was all just, I guess there may have been studies back then too, but I'm not sure if they were on the scale that they're on now. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Greger's work, he spends night and day reading any research, any study that has to do with nutrition. And then he compiles these, this large, massive information into the books that he's done. I think his first one was How Not to Die, or at least his first popular one. So that was really a wake-up call, because I was like, okay, there was something in my youth, the first time that I separated myself from my parents in my 20s, there was something that I recognized as a truth, but I didn't listen to it. And now I'm reading about it and it's being validated. And that felt good. So I went whole foods plant-based in April. I kind of went cold turkey. Like I said, I was plant-based the whole time anyway. I wasn't like eating copious amounts of animal products, but way more than felt good to my body. And the sun is amazing. We're in Washington and we don't get very much of it. This is really cool. So yeah, and then in what was like June. Oh no, so what happened is in August, I decided to do a cleanse. And so I started the cleanse. And as I said at the beginning of this video, it lasted 12 days. And then after that, I didn't feel like eating cooked food. I didn't feel like eating, steamed vegetables or grains or beans or anything like that. And I had been up until that point and I'd been feeling okay. But I felt like my energy sort of went up. My vibe kind of went up after that. And I was like at a new level of sensitivity with my food. So I basically ate for 2 months because I was traveling, and I was traveling in Europe. And they had really great fruit. And I was on a cruise actually. And so they had like 4 fruit options, but they had an abundance of it. So that was great. And I did like a little bit of cruise and a little bit of land travel. And I did that in salads. I basically just ate fruit and salads. I made sure I had like good quality fats, like nuts and seeds and stuff like that. For about 2 months. We weren't traveling for 2 months, but I did this for 2 months. And then when I got back, I just launched into this. So I prepped quite a bit for it. In retrospect, each fast that I've done this year, because I've done 3, the first one was 5 days. And that one I was like, I can't do this anymore. That one didn't go very smoothly and nothing came out. Like no old waste came out of that one. And then the second one I started to see, I was like, wow, this is really weird that waste is coming out, even though like, oh, hey, Linda, even though I don't know, like I'm not eating anything. This is bizarre, but I had to stop it because I wasn't feeling good in my kidneys. And so I just decided I needed to prep a little bit more for it. And I was also going to travel and I didn't know how long it would last. In retrospect, it was the perfect way to do it because like I said, I have no idea how long this is going to last, but I want to have the time to like see it till the end because it would be a shame to put this into. Sorry, I'm just laughing because my kids are commenting on my YouTube stream, which is so funny. They're definitely not interested in it, but they're so sweet. I love this stream. Thank you so much. Amazing Mario Bros. But and now I don't know what I was talking about because I got distracted. So anyway, I wanted to share that, and I also wanted to share a mantra, a chant, an a cappella one. And I wanted to kind of experience this with you in a way where we're using our body. So I wanted it's an affirmation, it's an English mantra, if you will. Um, in a way where we're feeling it in the body. Um, More so than if you're just using your voice. And so this is something that I do in my voice lessons with people is I have them actually play the body like in a percussive way sometimes or just with sound and visualizing it moving to different parts of your body to use this, hey everyone, um, in a way that is healing, it's self-healing. I have this amazing app I'm using right now, actually. It's called Soak, and it gives you these frequencies that they've been using. They've done studies on them that elevate your mood. And I don't know, there's frequencies for everything you can imagine. But there's something so powerful about not just listening to something that's healing, but also creating it, or creating it rather than just listening to it. Both are very healing and both are um, totally great. But I think that having both components is just amazing. It feels like kind of an internal massage. I don't know. Explaining it is not as good as doing it. So we're gonna do the chant, and I'm just gonna ask you to if you'll join me. Will you join me? If you're here now or you're going to join later, I'm gonna have you put your hands over your heart. And we're just gonna take one small portion of a song I did recently with Songs of Eden called I Am the Love. And so the affirmation that we'll use is I am the love that I've been waiting for. So just breathe into that, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. It's a little loud. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Sometimes I do more complex, but I think it's better to keep it simple for this. Okay. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. Okay, so let's try that. This time we're going to place our hands on the head by the jawline and then snap. So what you're doing when you move your hands and have something that your mind actually has to track is you don't tune out. And that's something that I've noticed even for myself when I'm chanting something, especially if I'm really familiar with it, you kind of get into this groove and you tune out. And so your attention isn't present anymore. It's like often, what am I making for dinner? And why did that person say that? So we want to stay really present. And if you're doing something that requires your presence, that requires your attention, this is the thing we're doing, you don't tune out. And you'll notice if you tune out because you'll mess up. And so that's your call to come right back in. Are you ready? I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. All right, so let's take it to the next level. We're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, chest, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And these are really silly and playful. So you can do something really cool that you make up with really any mantra that you want, any affirmation, anything that calls you, and then you can stay really present with it. And it becomes like, it amplifies it. I've actually never done it with a mantra before. Usually I do a sound like that's what we do in voice lessons a lot, but this just came to me to use it with the affirmations and the mantras. So I think I'll share that with my students as well. As I mentioned before, I'm teaching these voice lessons that are sort of, not sort of, but are a healing, energetic voice lesson rather than kind of a performative based voice lesson. So this practice is called body cello. All right, so same mantra, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 to keep ourselves present, focusing, but also using our body like a percussion instrument. Because your body is an instrument, your voice is an instrument. All right, here we go. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. Ooh. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. So just let it get into a meditative state. I am the love that I've been waiting for. Lose yourself in it. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. Feel the calm come over you. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for. I am the love that I've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale deeply and hold the breath until your body requests that you let it go. And just bask in that sound that you've created in your body, that focus. I'll just do one more thing that's going to bring us into our heart space. I'm teaching a workshop December 29th online that you can see on my Work With Me page on my website. I think it's on my links thing. I need to add it. But it's all about opening our heart and the communication that comes from our heart, and then being able to accept it, being able to speak from a place of like universal truth that is our heart. And yeah, I don't have anything more to say about that because I'll say it in the workshop. But thinking about using our words, I guess I have more to say about it. Thinking about using our words in a way that communicates our heart, that communicates the truth of who we are. Because our heart is sort of this like nexus space of, it's where the lower and the higher chakras kind of meet, and it holds so much peace and so much wisdom, right? But it's not necessarily nice. It's not necessarily what people want to hear. And so sometimes we're not expressing from our heart because we're afraid that what is true isn't pleasant for someone else. And sometimes the truth can be super pleasant. Sometimes speaking from your heart does sound like that feeling of love and embracing that, that we all think of when we think of heart and love. But love is not always nice. It's always kind, but it's not always nice. Because sometimes people just don't want to hear the truth, right? Because it threatens their sense, it threatens their ego, it threatens their sense of what they think is keeping them together. And that can be very aggressive feeling, that it doesn't make it any less true, and it might not make it any less useful either. So we're going to put our hands on our heart and vibrate this area, because when it's active, then it can send you information. It knows what to do. So we're going to inhale through the nose and then say the word hum, and it's going to look and sound like this. Hum. So I'm saying the word hum. I'm letting air come out at the ha, and then I'm closing the lips on the m. So we'll try that a few times. Hum. 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 Keep going and really feel that connection between your hands and your heart as you're doing this, and your focus to that space. Hum. Hum. And take a deep inhale and hold the breath for as long as you like. Release the hands. Just notice. Notice what's going on in the body. Always makes me feel so peaceful. I love doing that and teaching that. So that was a little taster of body cello. Oh my gosh. My kids. Help me. Beautiful and calming. Thank you. Thank you, G. Singleton. And thanks for everyone who who joined me. Oh, hey, didn't see this, Jonathan. I'm seeing it now. If you're still on. Now I'm seeing it. Oh, I've been on for 42 minutes. Holy moly. I expected to be on for like 5. I got carried away. Hi, Porter. I did a cleanse a long time ago. It lasted a week and included juice and eating 1 cooked vegetable a night. The juicing was amazing, much better than I could have ever managed in a day. It began with giving up all intoxicant substances, including coffee, for a week prior to the cleanse. I completed my cleanse right before I attended a Krishna Das Kirtan. That's cool. The next day was really cathartic. I cried after hearing a track from his album. It was wonderful. It definitely changed my perspective on life. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad you had a positive experience. Um, yeah, the first time I ever did a juice cleanse in my 20s, like I said, not much came out, but it was such an exalted experience. I always remember that, and I had it sort of like pinned in my mind, but because I had kids and I was pregnant and then breastfeeding and, et cetera. Well, that wasn't the order. Pregnant first, then breastfeeding, then had kids as opposed to babies. I just haven't found the time for myself to do this. It's been calling me for a couple of years. All right. Well, lest this be a 50-minute video, I will say adieu and have a wonderful, wonderful end of your Thursday day. Bye. Sending lots of love. End. And end.